Pretty here. This is the trail. Really pretty. Again, this is where the Appalachian Trail runs along with the Long Trail. It seems like ever since I've been on the Long Trail for the last few miles, it's just been just a little bit nicer, I think. Some climbs, for sure some climbs, but start of Vermont's pretty. Here's a blaze on this little tree. Just in case you missed that one, there's one right here as well. This is the Goon Shelter in Vermont. I think it's the first one I've seen. Maybe it's the second one. Fire pit. The nice thing about this is there's a little stream right here. So you do hear that's the water source, and you hear the water running. So I'll get some water here before I leave. There's a privy right up the hill. You can see toilet paper in hand. It's pretty clean actually. And then this shelter, I don't know. There's a platform, two more platforms. This is little on the small side, I have to say. Somebody's been having a party here. Oh, got a little painting up there. Well, that's nice. This table is fixed. It's right in the middle here, and it's fixed on the floor. So I would think that, my opinion, these tables should be outside probably in case of food spills and attracting animals, namely bears. You have to be super clean. And I guess anybody who's sleeping on like this bunk, I mean, this is also the seat for the table. So it's actually kind of cozy. I mean, if two people were in here, you each take a bottom bunk and then put your stuff up top, and then you have that table to yourself. I guess that'd be okay. I'm in the Glastonbury Wilderness, which is, if you look it up, the Bennington Triangle. It's like an area of paranormal sightings and disappearances. So, Glastonbury Wilderness, Vermont. Last night was pretty cold. I've had 2 colder nights than that. To start the day off near this crazy part of the woods. I heard 4 owls above my tent this morning. They all had distinctive calls. I could tell that they were 4 different birds, and you could tell because they were coming from 4 different angles as well. So that was kind of cool. Maybe that was paranormal. What's the meaning of 4 owls? A lot of miles to put on today. There's a lot of climbs. I've got to go up to 4,000 feet. I'm sure there'll be cool stuff to see. So I will see you down the trail. There's a little spring in this paranormal wilderness. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to also get some water, but so do the old knock bag thing. But I mean, basically, it's just this little puddle that you cross. Nothing down there, nothing straight uphill, but then you've got this little tiny thing that's bubbling away. Just on the side of the trail, you can just hear it. It's the only water you can really see, and then right there's a good collection spot because it's going down like a little trough from Yo to Yo. So you just put that knock bag right in there. Give it a second. And you have that much water from that little tiny source, which is, I mean, it's freezing cold, super clear, literally spring water. That's what it looks like. These a long time ago. These things, I was parallel to the right of them. That's where I just was. Pretty cool view. And that is where I'm going. That mountain was Glastonbury Mountain, by the way, with that fire watch tower I was just on. Glastonbury Mountain, right at the top, which is still within that Glastonbury paranormal part of the forest, according to legend. And that was hovering around 4,000 feet. Trying to get lower so it's not so cold to sleep tonight. Monday morning, May 17th. This is where I spent the night last night, pitched a tent. It was chilly, so I started a fire this morning before I left. I'm gonna begin my descent into Manchester Center, Vermont. So it looks like a pretty easy walk today, pretty flat mostly. Nice morning, a little bit chilly early, like I said, but this warmed everything right up. So you can sort of see the long trail still following the Appalachian thread. This looks like it's from a big, I don't know, maybe a tractor, eh? Tractor wheel. Maybe a big piece of rubber went on it or something. I don't know. I don't know. They had this big thing that said bridge out. I crossed it. That's what the trail looks like. This should be in Luxuryville anytime now. Just spent the night in Manchester Center, Vermont, and resupplied. And now I'm going up to 3,500 feet in 3 miles. I think that's what the grade was. I just put these new tips on my trekking pole, so they're biting into the rock pretty nicely. And Francis sent me some new shoes, so my feet are happy, my trekking poles are happy, I'm happy. Super nice day. I mean, if I would call something perfect for hiking, it would be right exactly now. Clear skies, birds singing. It's probably 65 and no wind. And the bugs are flying, but they're not biting, so. I'll stop when there's something cool. I think this kind of stuff is cool, but sort of the waves in this rock are pretty cool. It's pretty big too. It's probably 10 feet tall. And then it seems like this giant rock is just like a regular rock. And then this one right here almost sort of flows around it. I know rock doesn't flow. I mean, like, and it's millions of years old. Did that rock flow over that rock? Who knows? But it looks like solid rock. Rocky as can be. And then there's this cool boulder in the middle of the path. But that's kind of cool how this sort of just part flows up to the other two parts. And here's my trekking poles for scale. But that rock is real flowy. So there you go. I couldn't figure out what this was. I was doing a climb to 3,500 feet through the woods. I came to this big clearing and I was like, look at this clearing. And then I saw this whatever swing arm down there, and I thought, oh, maybe they paraglide or something. And then I look up here and I'm like, oh, look at that, somebody cleared all that out. It must have been a farm. So I'm going through this thought process, and then I look like here and there's pipes sticking out of the ground, and there's like a long run. Where is that? Oh, here. Like there's another couple of pipes sticking out. And then it dawned on me that's probably a snowmaking line. And this is actually a run from some ski resort. There you go. I don't want to beat this to death, but here's that part of trail that's part of a ski slope. Still water lines, snowmaking lines. And up the mountain it goes, and then the AT just follows it right up there. Mount Bromley, that's what it's called. So this is what's at on the top of Mount Bromley. There's an outhouse. And the ski lift. And a skier's hut. I'm gonna go check this out. Here you go. You ever want to see one of these things? Look, these control rooms look like up close, live and up close. That's what they look like. That's at the top of this lift. And they've got a couple buttons there. So what do you have to have for this job? You know, a cooler and a great pair of sunglasses, right? You too could operate a ski lift. This is the, what is this? The Peru Peak Shelter, 1935. Built by the CCC. They did so much work on this trail, it's not funny. So much. Look at that. Oh, here, picnic table. Little bench, fire pit. This is what the inside what it looks like. It's just that level there for sleeping, and then you can put all your stuff down here. Actually, this looks pretty comfortable. I'll be honest with you. I would sleep in there. water source is this river right in front of the hotel. There that is. And then there's a bridge. That is the Appalachian Trail and the Long Trail north. You go across that bridge. And they've got this giant platform, but this looks hot and flat and gross. And it's the other side of the shelter. It's actually pretty cool. You know, really, if I thought there wasn't going to be a crowd here, or that, for that matter, anybody, I would probably sleep in here. But I think take a stealth spot near here. Everything's so convenient. I know, I'll sit here, at least take a long break and try to figure it out. $5 a.m. Way away from the traffic. Way away. Put this walkway with the trail running next to this pond right here. Not a stitch of wind. Pond is completely flat. It's a nice morning. It's a little chilly. Maybe about 55. All these nice pine trees all of a sudden. I guess the more north you go, the more pine tree-ish it gets. I don't know how they got all this lumber up here. You have to understand, I hiked a day from any road just to get to this point. And I know it's another, you know, who knows how far to the next road. So maybe they do a helicopter drop with this lumber or what? You just find it here, laying there. Okay, here's crazy. Here I'm way up on this mountain top. As you can see, whatever, have been coming up this material, and this is that's the trail. There's a blaze right there. I'm gonna try to, let's see if I can film any of this without dying. There's the blaze. Means this is the trail. It's just pretty much straight up. Oy, ay, 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 ay. Wait. It just keeps going up through there, but that's where he came from. Just now, all the way down there. So, woohoo. This is a pretty serious bridge for the Appalachian Trail. Goes across that. I bet you that's a pretty swift river at times. Big suspension bridge. You can see how big this riverbed is, so. Kind of our rock garden. A little bit of a jumble. A little jumbly, little jumbly. Some things in the ground. I like the 3 hearts. Somebody found a heart-shaped rock for the middle. A couple squirrely cues. Those are pretty cool, actually. There you go. Still in Vermont. One hell of a climb after Killington. And I came across one of these. It's the first time I've seen this. It's a ladder. Coming down the trail, ladder. Trail goes down there. Surprised they don't just make us hike down there. Jump or something. I don't know. So, oh, I see the old trail. That just looks so fun. Okay, down the ladder I go. Just saw my first timber wolf in Vermont. He's pretty big, actually. Like a big, fat German Shepherd, more or less. Real stocky. He saw me and he headed for the woods, and then a little while later I saw my first moose. So that was kind of cool. A confirmed moose sighting. Looked like it was not a baby moose, but it was pretty small, but it was black. So I knew it was a moose, and it saw me and ran away too, but that was pretty cool. They're huge. I mean, even for a juvenile or whatever it was pretty cool to see that. So I hope I see another one. Okay, I just scared up a small black bear right off trail. Looked like a teenager, a little bit on the skinny side, definitely a black bear. And it saw me and it ran up that hill. And those are my favorite bear encounters, when they run like that. It's pretty cool. So what? A wolf, a moose, and a bear. Northeastern Vermont. Who'd have known? I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, I'm in Vermont, so I'm going to assume that when I see crazy stuff like this, I mean, let me plant my trekking poles here. I've just been seeing this through the forest. So it's stuff like this. I'm looking at this. Just sort of looped around this tree. And then this sort of stuff is looped around here. And then it runs like all the way, and then with the gray tubing, it runs all the way down through the forest, all the way downhill. And then it literally, here's the trail, and this stuff literally runs. Here's a connector, runs right across the trail and up, way up through the woods. So I'm thinking, being Vermont, as crazy as it sounds, I'm thinking maple syrup. I don't know. Anybody has any better ideas, let me know. Here's my tent set up. Have fire. Just a small fire. Super small, actually. There's a little bit of firewood. See, there's a sleeping bag, air mattress, blow pillow, blue thing, some miscellaneous bags, mid-layer, clothing sack back there. Francis. This is the Happy Hill Shelter. It's a little bit different than all the rest of the shelters. It's stone. So that's kind of cool. Super small, I would say. Oh, there's an upstairs. There's a little ladder right there. So 1, 2, 4 for sure, 6 if you had to, 8 if it was snowing and windy. That's the other side of it. Got a little windy,